Hello, welcome to my own dark corner of the web. My name is Game Odyssey, and I am just here trying to talk about something that's close to my heart. Okay, so I've been playing RPG for quite a while, and some of the games that I played is Divinity Original Sin, Pathfinder Kingmaker, Dragon Age Origin. Okay, the rest is crap, including Dragon Age 3. Okay, and if they don't make the correction, alright, to Dragon Age 4, I'm not gonna play that game. They need to go back to what it was in Dragon Age Origin. Alright, they need to go back to it. I'm not trying to say that here. This is a Pathfinder video, but some things get on my last nerves. Okay, all right. I want to talk about Kingmaker, and I want to say this about Kingmaker, guys. This game has a very, very great opportunity, and I don't think anybody's really talking about this. Playing this game, I want you guys to understand something. This is a map of the game. It's a whole board of so many things. But can you imagine a board that is bigger than this? Just take it to the back of your mind. A board that is far bigger than this. You start off with a small board, and then you have a big board, and a bigger board, and a bigger board, and a bigger board. You guys get the picture. Now, so many times, okay, so many times in games like this, and this is where Pathfinder really beats Divinity Original Sin and beats Pillars of Eternity, is that it has an opportunity to be an official D&D game. Here's what I'm trying to say. Let's just say, for instance, now, okay, you have a game master, right? A game master has the ability to determine where certain monsters are going to be. Do you understand what I'm saying? So let's just say we create a game. We have a very large map, and in those large map we can specify what level of monsters are going to be in there, what kind of characteristics those monsters are going to have, and then the game with RNG will now determine what kind of abilities those monsters are going to be doing. So that means the creators themselves will say this monster is going to have this ability, this ability, this ability if it's level this, or level 10, or level that. So when a character comes at this level, to that area, this is the maximum level or the minimum level that this character can come into this level, right? These characters, these bosses or whatever it is, or these monsters, whatever it is, will always have a certain spec that it's going to have, and this can be arranged by the game master. The game master can look at the whole board and take each monster with a certain set of abilities, or even write down its own abilities, and then put them into their own box area in this game. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is a map with all these wires, these wire things here, all these road maps, right? Already established all over the whole map, right? It's already established all over the whole map. But what the Pathfinder people do is that they give you an area to create your monsters, okay? All your monsters in a whole box, okay? According to the D&D rules, each of the monsters come with all those abilities. According to the D&D, right? They have all those abilities. So many of the times you don't need to create new ones. However, you can choose to augment each one, and then you can relabel them as something else. An augmented form of a dragon, an augmented form of a goblin, you know, stuff like that, right? And what they can do is simply do this. We have all the recommended areas to put all the monsters in. However, you can choose as the game master to click on an area and put whatever monster you want to put in that area, right? Now, when I look at Pathfinder, I noticed that there are too many low resolution images being used here. It's not like a Divinity Original Sin where you can feel as if the houses are alive. Those ones take time to build those things. In Divinity Original Sin, I feel like as if they're just pictures, just dropped on the page right there, just dropped on the page. And the truth of the matter is this: these kind of images. Let me show you something. What is that then? Let me show you something. So something like this, for me, these are just drawings. They are nothing more. They don't feel like houses. They don't feel like any other thing. They don't feel like, I don't know what it is. They don't feel like as if they are real. You know, they just feel like as if they're just drawings. And then you have only a certain amount of area where you can go to. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, they have a box here and the rest are just drawings. That's how it feels to me. It doesn't feel like as if you're in the area. The area doesn't feel alive. It just feels like as if it's a box that you draw over it, and then you have a square area. Like, if you really look at it, you can't go in between. If you try to tap somebody to go in between that space, they will not go in there. You know? I just feel like as if it's a box, it's a cutout square, and then you have all these drawings here to occupy that space, but you don't feel like as if it's really there. You know, so it's almost like a cutout box. You just cut out, you just create the area, and then you just draw out whatever you want to draw in. And should be told, this is actually better than what some of the other game masters could be working with. It's far more better than it. All right. So what I'm suggesting to our listeners, because they have an opportunity here, is very simple. Create maps like this, tons of them. Ask people to draw, create maps, and then you create all your squares, right? You create all your squares and have people walk in through them. Now here's the kicker, guys. Here's the thing. I think what our this thing did was they created in each of their boxes, right? They have different boxes, like they have several boxes, thousands of boxes, right? Now some of these boxes are next to each other, right? So when you enter into an area, you think you're just entering into a personal area. You're not really entering into that personal area. It's a box that's next to another box, right? And how I figured it out was this: there was an area here where I went to, and I had just completed all the bosses in that area, and I was just waiting, and then I saw the leg of another boss come through another room. I don't think that boss was supposed to go that far, but that boss walked all the way to that room, and I know that area is still accessible through another area. So I know those boxes are close to each other. Okay, that's how I know it's just different boxes that, depending on where you go to, it will lead you to that box. But the boxes are so close that you can actually see the next door neighbor. But anyway, that's neither here or there. I think it's the boxes are just next to each other in a line, in a straight line, or maybe in a square form or something like that. And then they have you enter from one area. When you enter into that area, you just enter into the box, enter into that box, enter into that box, enter into that box. But they made a mistake somewhere where they didn't isolate the boxes. And when I walked in and I saw another box that was supposed to be closed off, and the boss walked close, and I saw the leg of the boss, so I know, okay, this is the situation. But it's not here or there. The main thing is this: we already know there are 3D images, and we can create all those 3D images, and we can have those 3D images of those creatures have whatever it is. But this is what I'm trying to say, guys. All the monsters can be created, right? They will be put into the system, right? And when you put them into the system, the game master now can determine on the big map what he or she, okay, wants to put in the whole map. Now, the game master is going to be responsible for leading everybody through the map, right? So this is the map, right? And I, as the game master now, will ask everybody to create their own characters. Let's say we have 6 people on the team. We're going to have them to create all their characters. And in those characters, let's just say we're not going to have any villages. Let's just say if you want to create a village, you can create a village. But I would advise, okay, yes, we'll create a village, a capital. We'll create that capital, right? There'll be a capital, there'll be a village, there'll be a lot of things going on and so on and so forth. You know, but they're going to be, you know, only in central points, right? Now, the game master has the ability now to decide on which areas that they're going to lead their people through. And the game master is going to be like me. I'm telling them to go here, I'm telling them to go here. And if at any point I want to stop or have them have an encounter, I go ahead and drop an encounter here. Boom. That's it. Then they're going to have an encounter. And then once they have an encounter, let's just say this happens. Let's just say they have an encounter. Every person who created a character will now have their characters. Now here's the fun thing, guys. Okay? Here's the fun thing. Alright? When your turn, because this game now has become a turn-based game, right? When your turn reaches, you take your own character. Take it from Larian, okay? What Larian did in Divinity Original Sin 2. When it's your turn, you take your own character. You have your chance to do only 1 damage. Okay? You have only 1 chance to do only 1 damage, right? So now if somebody is Jetal now, that person will now take control of Jetal and will now determine what they want to do with Jetal, right? And then once their own turn finishes, their turn ends. That's it. And then they end their own turn, and then somebody else is going to pick up whatever they want. So you can see my turn base is kind of put a little bit fast, so I can make sure that the people on the screen are taking their turn real fast. You can see how fast it is going, right? The next person now takes their own turn, determine what they want to do, and then they have to end their own turn. You understand what I'm saying? You can basically get the gist of where I'm going with. Everybody's taking their own turn. Everybody's taking their own turn. I'm taking my own turn. This person is taking their own turn. You know what I'm saying? And then you can always create different conditions, weather conditions, and so on and so forth. I mean, there's just so much possibility with this game. You know? That the producers of Our Inc. might not be looking at it, or maybe there's too much money in it. But this is an opportunity for you to create a game close to D&D with a game master, and so on and so forth. And here's the situation, guys. Here's the situation. Here's the situation. Here's the situation. On the big map, okay? On the big map, you can decide to expand it as much as you want, okay? And as you expand it, you can decide on the level cap of the whole map. Let's just say on this whole big map. Let's just say on this whole big map, it's more bigger than this, right? So people can continue to play, exploring new territories, exploring new lore, exploring different quests. You know, being in the middle of a problem, a fight, or whatever it is. I mean, you can create so much story in this game that is just, I would say, outstanding. That is where you can outshine Larian. in what Larian is doing. Larian is interested in the beautification of games and also giving you all those combos and so on and so forth. But with what Larian is doing right now, I'll put it like this for you. Larian's way of going about doing what they're doing gives you more of a, you're in that environment. You feel like as if the environment is living and breathing. You know what I'm saying? But this game gives you more like a tabletop, whereby your imagination is the limit of what you can do. And this game, the way it is, I feel like as if it's a much more cheaper form of creating the tabletop. They already have this formula. They have everything here. All they just need to do is expand on it, add more of what the D&D entails, and then expand the map. Let's just say they create a formula whereby the map, the highest level of monsters in it is level 20, right? And then as they do that, the rate at which each character levels up will depend on how many monsters are in the whole map in general. So the monsters are going to be divided in such a way that the character can reach level 20. Okay, and a good game master can decide on, okay, I want all these lower creatures here, I want 5 creatures here, I want 6 creatures here, I want 7 creatures here, right? And the game can automatically decide on where it wants to distribute those characters in on the map. So the game master is just working with only just this, right? Whereby they just click on this and say, boom, I want a manticore, I want this, I want that to be there, and then the game decides on where it wants to distribute them. Because for me, I don't think it matters where the monster is. Once you get in there and then 2 of them, then you are in trouble, right? You might be getting to the map, as you're just entering the map, the monsters are right in front of you. Well, whoop-de-doo, you gotta deal with them, right? So the game decides where it wants to map them, where they should be, and how they should be walking, right? They can decide their path anyhow, you know. I mean, it'd be great, you know. Plus, again, most of the places are already created with just what do you call it again? Pictures. You can have a standard area how a bandit camp will look. Have it standard. You don't have to change it up. A standard bandit camp will be like that. A standard owl bear camp, or standard whatever, you know, just distributed anyhow according to the area. Let's say the area is supposed to be mountaintops, so we're gonna have a standard mountaintop area, you know, or we have 3 or 4 or even 6 variations of a mountaintop area, and then the game automatically distributes whatever creature you want to distribute there with maybe their nests or whatever it is. It will have a generic nest. Okay, so let's just say you have a nest. That means it will have an area leading to another area. Let's say you have a goblin nest, you know, so you have an outside goblin area and then you have an inside goblin area. So you just call it a goblin nest, and then it will just create a random underground tunnel, right? It will create a random underground tunnel for you to go through, and you can create 6 to 7 random tunnels of a kobold map, or create how many random tunnels of mites, you know, so on and so forth. Just make them just 6 of them, 7, and then the game decides on which kind of mites this thing is going to create, and just put it in there, you know, that's going to lead to it. So it's more like you're creating those extra rooms whenever you're adding what kind of camp is going to be. You create an extra room for it, but camps don't need an extra room, so it will just be layered on top on the distance. A bandit camp with a troll cave or something like that, and then you have that area now have two squares associated with it, right? And now, when you go into that area, you see the bandit camp, you see the trolls outside, you also see the troll cave too, you know, and then you go into that area. So, let's just say we want the character to be at least to be able to reach level 21, right? In this whole standard map. That means, as the character is going through the whole standard map, they will be able to reach 21, or let's just say they'll be able to reach 22, right? But then you're gonna have level 20 creatures, level 19 creatures, level 18 creatures, and so on and so forth, scattered around the map. And then once you finish creating all the whole map, then the game will automatically decide how much XP every character you have created inside that game now will now have. And now, as a game master, you can now lead your party wherever you want them to go to, and then have them face off and have this adventure of a lifetime for themselves, you know. And let me put it like this for you. You can even extend it to the community. Get those people who are really interested in it. Get the dungeon masters to create their own versions of what they think those areas should be like, you know what I'm saying? Even get people to draw out these things for free. People will gladly do so. You just have to create an opportunity. It doesn't have to be like you have to plant trees here, do this. No, you just create a map, a small map, a different map, or a different location, and so on and so forth, a swampy area. Make it look nice. You know, they create the whole map for you, and then you just put it as a game map there, and then have people go in there, and then put some trees and whatever it is. Just, you know, you spice it up. You know, there are a lot of people in the community that will be more than happy. There's a lot of people that play these games, and many of them are even creating maps of their own at home by building it out. You know, ask them to draw it out, and then have them put in the game, and then everybody just sits down inside the game and have a game master, whereby you join the game master as a lobby, and then the game master now takes you around their own map, and then you play and you do your dungeon D&Ds. And if you wanted, you can bring out the dice out there in front of everybody in the game and have them use their mouse to roll it. But for me personally, I don't think it should be that kind of situation. Don't have them rolling it. No, I think it's nice the way it is like this, whereby you go and then you get your roll, and then you can determine by unfair difficulty or whatever it is you want to put. And if the dungeon master feels nice, they can make it a little bit much more easier, but it's still the same game, you know. So that's just my own rant about the situation. I believe that Project Owl, or whatever your name is, All Cats, or whatever it is, they have a great opportunity here, guys. Low resolution, the opportunity to have a dungeon master, the opportunity to have different characters, different people operating each of these characters. I mean, look at check this out, man. You have 6 characters that you can operate, right? You have 6 characters you can operate. Why not different people from their own screen being able to control each character? I mean, for crying out loud, Larian has done it. Why can't you just create them to have this thing? And you've already created a very, very good system of turn-based here, guys. That means I take a turn, you take a turn. I activate the spell, you take a spell. You know, stuff like that. So this is a very, 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 very good game to have Dungeons and Dragons, or whatever it is. It's a good game. I think it does that very well, as opposed to Larian, as opposed to Larian's Divinity Original Sin, which actually dealt with combos and ability to get more action points and so on and so forth. I mean, Larian's Divinity Original Sin, it does present a very phenomenal feature that I think, if mixed with Pathfinder, will push Pathfinder into those realms. And with the way Larian is going about what they're doing, I think Larian might be able to achieve this before Pathfinder Owlcat does it. Okay, but I feel that Owlcat can achieve this at a lower resolution and get the game masters on board a little bit more quicker. Do you understand what I'm saying? That way, people can actually see the power of having things in low res in all this world-based stuff, because I think this is the way it was meant to be played. Whereby you're going from one place to the other, getting certain skills and so on and so forth, and getting better. I think this is the way it was meant to be played. But Larian also brings with the Divinity Original Sin series, it makes you feel like a great magician. It makes you feel like a great archer. It makes you feel like a great tank. You know, you rush in, you hit things, you bulldoze things. I mean, these things are great, and I think Pathfinder is missing all those things, right? But in as much as we want to watch those kind of like go in, okay, let's say for instance now Divinity Dragon Age Origin, right? If you look at Dragon Age Origin when you were doing things in real time, right, you would always see your guy shout and hit somebody with the shield and slam them. I mean, it was just beautiful to see it, and I know that such features exist in this Pathfinder here, where you're having the bull rush or maybe the shield slam, whatever it is. It might even happen automatically here. I know, because you might be able to get certain skills there. I don't know. I've not really explored the game to that much, but I feel that it can be here. Like, I was experimenting with Rogonga in this game, and I saw Rogonga hit one person, right? That person died, and then he moved over to the next person and hit that person, right? And so I looked into the game fast, and I saw an area whereby he gets an extra hit on whoever is close by. If that person is close by him, he gets an extra hit. And I was like, oh my goodness, I like what I saw here, whereby he finished this person and then he went to the next person. Or someone like a Miri, who might even go from a cleave. She hits this person, she hits that person. I mean, it's phenomenal, right? There's so many things that can be gotten here, guys. You can play this game in turn-based and at least still get the same effect you might get with Dragon Age Origin. All I'm simply saying is this: with each of the characters that you pick up, they should be able to have such great animations. That's what I'm saying. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that is gonna, you know, keep the game a little bit off the mainstream for quite a while. But the abilities that each of the characters get should be phenomenal. Phenomenal. Right? That's how I look at it. It should be phenomenal. And the animations that are drawn with those things should also be phenomenal. Right? But the other things can be low res. The monsters should be in 3D. The environment, I'll say low res, just pictures out there with barriers, limits. You can't go there, but it's nice to have those distance there and create you know, multiple variations, 20 variations of you being how do I put it now? You being ambushed in the mountains, close to a river area, on the plain lands, in the snowy area, you know, stuff like that. Just create maybe 20 variations of those and have the computer just randomly choose which variation is going to be for your random encounter. I mean, guys, seriously, man. And then when it comes to loot or items like that, just have the game just disperse different items throughout the whole game. And if the game master feels like they want to include an item somewhere that they can get, but they want to make it difficult, they can always personally just include an item. But you know, with the level of masters in the area comes different items that they can get, and those things are randomly put in there. So you might get crappy shoots because you don't know the area. You shouldn't be able to go to this area and say, oh, I'm going to get this here. No. But if the game master wants to specifically put something in those areas because they're level 20 monsters here, these are level 20 items here that you could get, but the game master says, I want this special sword or these 3 special swords to be here, you know, that was because they killed somebody that was there and that person left their sword there. It should be done. It should be easily done just by clicking, you know, by doing this. Just right click or left click and then add a special item that you want to add there. Or let's just say a special item that is level 6 in an area that is level 2. You can always add it up. You know, it should be at the discretion of the game master. The game master screen should never be seen. It should be more like a picture, you know, whereby the other people are looking at the picture and and the game master is explaining what's going on, but the picture is just moving of the characters moving. You know how, like how you have the darkest dungeon, where you have the characters just moving in one area. It could just be that for each of the people who are watching it, and then the game master is busy talking about, you know, about what is happening in the screen, the moves according to this, and then it came across an area named Waterlogged Lowlands, and then the dungeon master then decides to just take them to, you know, the area. Just says, well, you guys came across a waterlogged lowlands, and I decided to, you guys went in, and then the dungeon master now pressed OK, and then everybody's screen that just only had people just walking on their screen with each of their characters just walking on the screen, right? Or you can just make it just their pictures walking on the screen or whatever it is, and then when they go in here, the dungeon master now presses OK from this screen here, and then they're logged into, you know, this other area. You know, they go in, you know, so stuff like that. So yeah, I just want to just speak about it. I think there's an opportunity here to create something great, but I just said let me just rant about it, talk about it, and hopefully we can get something going. So well, I think that's going to be it. I think I've spoken enough. Well, thank you guys for coming out and listening to my talk. I don't know whether I made sense, but hopefully I did. Someone out there can pick it up and make some good money out of it. I'm thinking this is not my sector. If not, I've been listening to it, but it's a good proposal, especially with the Pathfinder Path of the Righteous coming out. It's something that the OWL people might be looking into, and I know that they've used what they've created here to be able to create their next expansion. So they've tinkered with whatever they felt that worked, and they've gotten rid of what they think that didn't work. And I hope personally that they get rid of the time. I think timing when you're managing your kingdom is not something I would want to have. It's something I should decide on whether I want to make this decision or not. If they wanted to do that, then they would reduce the time of traveling. Traveling shouldn't have any time then, you know, but I can skip a day or skip an hour, whatever it is. But I think that's one of the features that they messed up in this game. I think there should be no time. Don't put any time. We're not trying to race against the clock or create a kingdom or a simulation or something like that. That's not what we're trying to do. You know, get rid of that timing in the kingdom. Let people have fun. That's the main purpose of having a fun game. You should either click a button here that says get rid of all the timing events, all the time putting time on the events. Get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? It should be about fun. Anybody who wants to play with the time can play with the time, but people shouldn't be forced to play with the time. It should be about the adventure, and that's the most important thing. Going from one area to the other, finding out what's happening on the next screen. Those are the things that gave me joy in the game. The taking care of the kingdom just put me off. That's why I put it low below Pillars of Eternity 1. Pillars of Eternity 1 was great. Pillars of Eternity 2, I don't know about that one. It fell somehow. But Pillars of Eternity 1 was great, even though it was low res. This one too, I really like this one, but the managing kingdom and, you know, all that whole stuff is just driving me nuts. But going from one place to the other, seeing all the adventures, looking at the low res storyline being spoken from this Pitax lady called Lindsay was very interesting, and I liked it. And for me, I looked at Lindsay as the game master. To some degree, I felt that she was a game master. She was one telling almost everybody the story about what was happening with these people. So I feel like I see it's the game master, you know, and they missed out on an opportunity here, you know. So Owl Inc. or whatever it is, Owl Bear, whatever it is, they are. Please, let's make this thing happen. All right. It's been your guy, Game Odyssey, signing out. Hopefully I made some sense. All right.